Hello everyone, welcome back. So we're going to start off by getting rid of all these option elements here inside of this select element because we're going to be adding these ourselves with JavaScript. So we're going to get rid of these for now. So just select that, hit backspace, so we're left with an empty select element. Then here in our JavaScript, we're going to grab a reference to that element. And we're going to store it in a variable that we're going to call birds list. So birds list. And we'll set that equal to document.get element by ID, and then we pass it that ID that we created for the select element, which is birds. Great, so now we have that stored in our birds list variable and we can start using it in our JavaScript code. So we're going to create a for loop, and what we're going to do is we're going to loop through our array, and then add our data to some option elements that we create, and put that into our select element here so it gets displayed here for us. Alright, so to start this off, we're going to create variable I, set that equal to 0. We're going to keep going until we reach the length of our array, and then we'll stop. Then on each iteration, we add 1 to I. Oops. And now let's open that up. So on each iteration, we're going to create a variable called op, or OPT, that'll stand for option. And with that, we're going to create an element. So document.create element, and this is where we create that option element, which will eventually get added to our select here, which we've named bird list here in JavaScript. So we create that option, and then we give it its values. So for that option element, we'll change the inner HTML to our data at index I, which changes as we go through the loop, and then the name, which will give us the name of that bird. And similarly, we're going to change the value of our option to the same thing. So we can just copy and paste that there. And then finally, we'll attach this option element that we created with the name of the bird to our select element here, which we've named bird list. And we can do that by grabbing bird list and doing an append child method. Append child, and we're going to append that option. So that'll append it to our select element for us. And we can actually get rid of this here since we're not using this code anymore. Hit backspace, and that's about it. If you zoom back out, you'll see that now we have this select element populated with JavaScript filled with options that we created with our for loop, adding the names of the birds to these option elements. So just to go through an example, we're looping through the array until we get to the end of it. So you can see that this here is one array, and each object has a certain index in that array starting from 0. So it starts at 0, 1, 2, so on and so forth, until we get to the end of this array. So on the first iteration, I is equal to 0, which is our starting point, and this corresponds to this first JSON object here. And then we grab that name of that bird by typing .nm. We attach that to this option element that we created, and then we attach this option element to birds list, which is our select element here. And then we keep doing that over and over again until we get to the end of our data array, and then the loop stops. And then we're left with this select element that's been populated with these options, all filled with the names of birds. And we're getting these red lines here, so I'm just going to hit save and hit refresh, and that'll get rid of them for us. There we go. And that's about it. So hopefully you now have a better idea of how to work with APIs and how to get JSON data with the jQuery getJSON method. In the next lecture, we'll go through yet another example using the Reddit API to solidify your understanding before moving back to working on our original app that we started a few lectures ago. So I'll see you there.